I was at a large grocery store yesterday and I walked up to the butcher area to ask for assistance, but there was one person ahead of me. When the person finished, I was just about to ask the butcher my question when a woman cut in front of me and asked him, "Hi, can you please help me in the freezer aisle?" The butcher said yes and was about to follow her when I interjected, "Sir, I was here first." I swear I saw an eye roll on his part, but whatever. Moving on. I had a cart full of groceries and I stood in line to check out. There was a woman who was unloading her packed cart in front of me, so I waited a few feet behind her because had I moved my cart forward, I would have been blocking the traffic for other customers to walk through. Then, I saw the same woman, who cut me off in the butcher station, nonchalantly walked in front of me, and then she proceeded to unload her items onto the conveyor belt. I told her, "Excuse me, ma'am, I've been waiting here. I'm next in line." She gave me a smug look and said, "Ha, if you're next, then why are you standing back there and not here?" So I told her, "Because I don't want to block the flow of traffic walking by, but I am next." Guys, she continued to argue with me saying, "Well, you should have moved forward," and then continued to unload her groceries. Keep in mind that I am not a confrontational person. In my 44 years on this planet, I have never been in a fist fight. In fact, I used to be a major pushover. If I was 18, I may have told her, "You're right, go ahead." Well, that's not what happened. I saw red. I yelled at her, "Listen lady, I'm a civilized person who takes others into consideration, unlike you who probably doesn't give a crap, would have blocked this entire area. Now put your things back into your cart now or I'm going to go over there and do it for you." Then, the kind lady that was originally in front of me and had finally completed her transaction, took one look at her and said, "Seriously? You need to move because she has been waiting." You'd think that she would have backed off? Nope. She continued to unload her groceries, muttering that I should have been closer and not standing so far in the back. I yelled, "I'm not going to tell you again. Get your crap and put it back into your basket or I'll go and do it myself, now." She then took a good look at me and started putting her things back in her cart and walked away. I would imagine that by this point, my eyes were crossing and my head was 2 seconds from spinning like the kid from The Exorcist. I can't remember the last time I felt so angry. She finally moved, but she kept staring me down, and I'm ashamed to tell you guys that I screamed, "What the hell are you looking at?" She finally looked away and as quick as this started, it ended. The nice lady that was in front of me patted me on my back and told me that she was impressed how I defended myself, but to please calm down because I looked like I was about to pass out. I need to add that since the store was so packed and music was blaring, not many people witnessed what went down. Only those within hearing range were able to witness this exchange. I know. No excuses. To be honest, at this point in my life, I've let people walk all over me. If this had happened 10 years ago, I would have let her go on ahead of me. Not now. I'm a jaded middle-aged woman who is not the one. Don't get me wrong, what came out of me yesterday felt like an out-of-body experience. I'm not a mean person. She just sparked something in me that threw me over the edge. Not the idiot, some people feel entitled and it's getting old to be honest. When I was younger I'd do the same as what you did. I have young children that keep me together, which came in handy last week. I live in a small community and this woman cuts in front of me and says, "I was just here, forgot to buy the jam." Insert annoying laugh here. Can I go through as she passed through me? I was physically moved by her, and I said yup, rather tightly. Kids were with me so yeah. All that to say, I wish I could have said more to the entitled person. Everyone's the idiot here. Obviously, that woman is a self-absorbed idiot. That doesn't need to be examined. But holy hell, you went overboard. Standing up for yourself is great, but screaming at strangers in public doesn't achieve anything. I get why you reacted the way you did, I really do. But it's not how mature people handle things. Ask for a manager next time. Not being pushed around doesn't mean reacting with anger and screaming. It means handling things properly. Fair enough, screaming did achieve something. But it's not the right way to handle things. It's sinking to their level. This sub assumes that to be an idiot is to be in the wrong. In my experience, this isn't always true. If you channel your inner idiot towards interactions where it's justified, then being the idiot is better than not. Case in point, if your options are be a doormat or be an idiot, then by all means, whip that jerk out. So, you were an idiot, but it was perfectly justified, and more people should be comfortable escalating until idiots like the cutter are forced to act civilized. My mom has 6 grandkids, 3 boys and 3 girls. They were all born within 6 years of each other. A few years ago, when the youngest turned 18, we had a family reunion. At the reunion, my mom had everyone sit down. She pulled out 6 items and distributed them to each grandchild. These were family heirlooms. My mom is from Europe and her great-uncle died in World War I. In his belongings were items that my mom has no idea of their worth. There were 3 of these items which she gave to my son and the other 2 grandsons. Then she pulled out 3 neatly ironed and folded tablecloth napkins. They had been embroidered with the new last name of her great-great, I don't know how many greats, grandmother from the late 1800s on her wedding day. This apparently was a custom back then for a new bride to do this, and the napkins have been handed down for generations. These were amazing, sentimental gifts. There is only one problem, however. In the days after the reunion, my son went to have his gift appraised. Hold on to your seats for this. It was appraised at $75,000. He said he could sell it and do this and that with the money, and I told him, don't you dare. My mother obviously had no idea what she was doing and what the value of those items were. Of course, my daughter's napkin had no monetary value at all. I told him if he does sell it, to do so after mom dies, she is in her 80s, and that he should give half to his sister. He sulked a little at this, saying that she has a college degree and works for a great company. He never went to college and doesn't make what she makes. I'm at a loss. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I think it's sad to hear your son now only sees the gift for its worth and not this beautiful part of your family history that you could cherish. He should know just because it was appraised at that amount doesn't mean he'll actually get $75,000. And you know taxes. I think you were right in saying since it's his, if he wants to sell it, it would be kind to split it with his sister, since it's a family item. Have you mentioned to the other family members the value of this? I can see resentment if the other grandson sold it without having to share the money. No idiots here. I agree that it screws up that he wants to sell a family heirloom, but like a lot of people have mentioned, $75,000 is a lot of money and could pay off debts, help him buy a house, etc. However, if you're interested in fairness for your daughter, consider telling him that he can sell it if he wishes, but if he does, then you will be giving your daughter $75,000 more when it comes time to split up your assets. That way he can still do whatever he wants with the heirloom, but your kids both get an equal share, even if it's not coming from the same person. Not the idiot. OP, I think you'd be well within your boundaries as a parent to tell your son to share the money with his siblings. Everyone here is saying it's rightfully his because your mom gave it to him, but that's $75,000. It's not like he got a check for $250 and your daughter got $200. If I were your daughter, I'd be bitter as hell. I got something with no monetary value, and my brother got a year's salary. And if I were your son, I would think the right thing to do would be to split the money. I have a 4-year-old daughter, Emma. I am a drinker and I've been sober for 2 years. My brother was Emma's court-appointed guardian from when she was 15 months old to just before her 3rd birthday. I had to fight for almost a year to get her back. My brother and sister-in-law are still upset that I took Emma from them and have called Child Protective Service on me numerous times and make it clear that they don't trust me to take care of my own kid. They love Emma and Emma loves them, so I try to take her to see them a couple times a month. A couple weeks ago, Emma caught the stomach flu from someone at her preschool. I'm in school full-time and had a midterm that day, so I asked my brother to watch her for a couple hours so I could take my test. They said they were happy to take her, so I brought her to their house that morning with her medicines, a schedule saying when she's supposed to take which medicine and the dosage, a bottle of Pedialyte, and a few changes of clothes. I came to pick her up after the midterm and half her medicines, her clothes, and her Pedialyte were gone. When I asked about it, they said they threw away all of her medicines in the Pedialyte because they were liquids and they were already opened, so I could have put something in there to make her sick and sleep. Not that it helps much, but I never hurt my daughter or gave her anything that wasn't recommended by her pediatrician. They also said I shouldn't be giving her Tylenol and Motrin. Again, her doctor said it's fine, so they didn't buy her any Motrin. Then I asked about the nausea medicine prescription, and they said they didn't think she needed prescription meds for the stomach flu. They also felt her clothes weren't good enough for her, so they gave it to their neighbor for their garage sale and bought her new clothes, meaning they most likely took her shopping when she was sick and should have been resting. I left with Emma and haven't spoken to them since, except to tell them they will not be allowed anywhere near my kid unsupervised. I'm working on Thanksgiving, so I was going to drop Emma off with my parents so she could see my family, but I still don't want her to be around them without me, so I'm leaving her with her babysitter instead. Now my family is giving me a hard time for not letting my brother and sister-in-law see Emma and are excusing what they did by saying they were just worried about her. Am I the idiot for not letting my daughter see my brother and sister-in-law? Not the idiot. Your brother and sister-in-law weren't worried about Emma. They still think that they are Emma's guardians, and they feel that she needs protection from you, and that they know your child so much better. They need a reality check, and they get a timeout. But you need to prepare for continued child protective service visits, and they will send minions in the form of family members, saying that they were only concerned and worried, and only want the best for Emma. Send a message back that they blew it, and you aren't comfortable having Emma around them anymore. Not the idiot. The medications were prescribed by a doctor. They do not have medical knowledge sufficient to overrule a licensed professional, and should not have thrown it away. A fever can be very dangerous to a child if not brought down, and dehydration is an issue in children with the flu, who might not be aware enough to know they need a drink. Their actions were not in your daughter's best interests and seemed more about being anti-you than pro-her. They endangered her to prove you wrong, and I don't blame you for keeping her away from them. Not the idiot. I understand that they were her guardians for a while, and it might be difficult for them to accept that you are the parent and your decisions are now the ones that matter. That being said, what they did was completely inappropriate and uncalled for. I agree that they will continue to disrespect your decisions and should not be left alone with your child. Their actions created these consequences, so they can deal with them. Well, she was technically a fling, but I'll still say ex though. Anyways, I was a young and dumb 18-year-old who thought I was so cool for hooking up with an older married woman. She was 30, and that was considered older to me. I admit it was not my proudest moment, but I was going through a bad time in my life and was making a lot of reckless choices. Things ended after 3 months and I didn't hear from her again. Don't think I'll have enough characters to explain the whole story, so I will need to keep it brief. I found out we had a son together, Jay, who's now 20. He knew about me for years and found me. Her husband found out she cheated as soon as she got pregnant, but still stuck around while Jay was growing up. I never had a clue about his existence until now. When Jay reached out, he just wanted to get to know me, so we met up. From there we started talking more regularly and I learned about his home life. Jay doesn't get along with his dad at all, felt they were never close for as long as he can remember, and there was always this detachment that he didn't understand until he was told the truth. The more I spent time with Jay, the closer we became. It made me feel sad, honestly, that I couldn't be in his life sooner and feel like I missed so much. We talk to each other regularly, and he comes by my house almost every other weekend. Safe to say we bonded quite a lot. A couple nights ago I was contacted by my ex, and she told me Jay has completely pulled away from her husband and doesn't want to speak to him. She feels my relationship with Jay is what's causing this and asked me to limit contact with him. When I refused, she berated me for causing them problems and said I don't even belong in his life when I've only been a dad less than a year. I ended up getting some things off my chest that I didn't get the chance to do before, since finding out I had a son. Our fight didn't get anywhere and I haven't spoken to her. I did talk to Jay about this, and he said whenever he visited, they fought, and Jay got tired of his controlling behavior. Turns out they were also fighting because of the fact Jay was spending more time with me. While it makes me feel good that my son wants to spend time with me, I do feel guilty that it's caused him to distance himself from my ex's husband. I feel like my presence has made their strained relationship worse, and I don't know if I'm being a selfish idiot here by not limiting my involvement. I have encouraged Jay to speak with him, but he seems set on not wanting any more to do with him. The ex is the ultimate idiot for depriving you of the opportunity to know your kid all his life, for cheating on her spouse, and for trying to control her adult son's relationships now. You're not causing relationship problems. It sounds like this guy has been treating Jay differently his whole life. Now that he's an adult, Jay can choose not to tolerate it anymore. Not the idiot at all. Jay is choosing to have a relationship with you as an adult, and you're being given an opportunity to bond and give him a loving father-son relationship. Not the idiot. You don't owe this woman or her husband anything. You're being the best dad you can be given the situation. You couldn't have known about Jay's existence before, and has shown him complete support since he found you. I have plenty of reasons not to want my kid's father around, and none based on my own infidelity. I still don't tell either of them they shouldn't see each other. If you won't allow someone in your child's life, you sure as hell shouldn't make love with them. Not the idiot. You should have been told about him in the first place, but that wasn't your fault, and you can't go backwards. However, he's an adult and has every right to spend time with you. You're not an idiot for wanting to be involved in your son's life. Not even a little bit. In fact, you are more rational than the mom. You even suggested that he spend time with his stepdad, which shows your maturity and great morals. He found you and he knows what he wants to do, which is to spend time with you and get to know you.